In 2025, I saw over 200 bands live. Many were good, some were great, but a few were the kind of shows you think about for months. On this year's list is a legendary band that I finally understood, a concert in a venue that made me feel weird, a comeback that I never expected to witness, and a #1 spot that shocked me because the last 2 times I saw them, I was sure that the magic between us was gone. So let's get into it. These are the 10 best concerts that I saw in 2025, and we're starting off with a band that turned me from a non-fan to a fan in just one night. I had never somehow connected to this band, and I never really fully understood why people liked them so much. But then when I saw Mastodon at Brutal Assault in the summer, something just clicked. So let's check out what I said in my video back in August. The set was great, the sound was massive, and the performance was somehow so joyful and filled with positive energy. And the crowd loved it. And by the time they closed it with a cover of Black Sabbath Supernaut, I really felt it was the perfect ending to a perfect set. So yes, Mastodon takes the 10th spot, and on top of that, they have me as a fan. Next up is a band that finally showed me what I always knew that they were capable of. I feel a little bit bad about putting this band this low because they didn't give me just 1, but 2 incredible shows this year. I saw Carcass at 2 different festivals, and both times they did great. The sets were amazing, the sound was great, and the cherry on top was that the band seemed to absolutely love being on that stage, which adds so much to the energy. This band I had seen twice before, but somehow wasn't feeling it. But this time around, everything just clicked. The band performance, the sound, the setlist, and the crowd. This band is Saxon, and let's see what I had to say about them back in February. As soon as Saxon came on, the sound was super sharp, powerful, and any doubt that I had was gone with the riff. This was not any repeat of my past Saxon trauma, this was Saxon ready to fucking roar. We need to talk about Biff. At 74, the guy is just unreal. He ripped through those 23 songs, never missing a note, never looking like he struggled with anything. Now this was easily a 10 out of 10 performance, no question. I came in doubtful, I left buzzing. This is the Saxon show that I had been chasing. So total respect to Saxon, they brought it all to this concert and it was great. But it also made me question, why isn't this band just as big as Iron Maiden, Judas Priest and the likes? So I actually made a video about that and you can find that up here. This next show was and probably will be the weirdest experience that I have had with live music. So this show was unlike anything that I've ever seen, a black metal band in a planetarium. And I wasn't even into this band Mysticum, but the setting, the visuals and the sound and how it affected the crowd was just unlike anything else. So I tried to describe that in my video. The music screamed, stand up, mosh, lose control. But the dome said, sit down, this is a planetarium. It was like a trapped fart. You feel it building, you want to let it rip, but you're in public, so you clench and you pray. But you know, every once in a while, a fart finds its way out. So yes, this was, is, and probably will be a show I will never ever forget. So this band is just always solid. Every song feels like an anthem. The energy is super high and the crowd is always on fire. This is the kind of band that I could actually go and see every single week and still love it. So yes, In Flames is the kind of band that just never fails to deliver. But we're going to check out a comeback that I never ever saw coming. I thought this guy was done after everything that he's been through and he was only there to get some cash. But I was wrong. So let's see what I said about Marilyn Manson when I saw him live. I was sure that this guy was done, buried by that Me Too scandal, that he would never come back from this. But at a sold-out arena of 8,000 screaming cultists, this 56-year-old Antichrist just came back. And look, I'm no superfan. Half of his catalog gathers dust on my playlists. But at this show, I somehow just felt it. It wasn't perfect, wasn't polished, it was just real. So Marilyn Manson is definitely back, but not as the 90s version of himself. This version I think is more dangerous. He is sober, he is on a mission. The Antichrist is reborn. Marilyn Manson is back, in shape, with a voice that radiates fury and anger. And he duly reminded me why he became an icon in the first place. And based on the comments to my video about this show, it seems to be that this is one of his best tours ever. The next band I picked as the best performance at Copenhell 2025, and to be honest, when I knew that they were playing there, I kind of expected that. There is just something that happens when this group hits the stage. It makes you want to break stuff, and every time I see them, I wonder how on earth can they bring all this energy? Yes, I'm talking about Slipknot. So this show was absolute chaos, and Slipknot have this unique way of making you feel that you're in a war zone, but you're gonna make it out alive with them. Before we get into the top 3, I have 4 honorable mentions of bands that almost made the top 10, and one of them played in a basement club so small that the singer actually sweated on my camera. First up is Halestorm, and their singer Lizzie Hale, she takes no prisoners. I had seen her at the Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne farewell, and she looked angry and pissed off in all the right ways when she sang Perry Mason. So I had to go and see this live, and wow, the energy and power of her vocals are just on a different level. Next band is Neckbreaker, a young Danish death metal band that I saw in a sweaty, tiny basement club. They're having so much fun playing that it's impossible not to enjoy it, and I can't wait to see where this band goes. The third honorable mention is Dirty Honey. They're one of my favorite hard rock bands. I saw them twice within 1 week, and the second show was just next level. They got it all: swag, sound, songs, and stage presence. And if you like classic rock or hard rock, then you need to check out Dirty Honey. And the final honorable mention is Hanabie. I saw them twice, but the first show never took off due to some tech issues. But I gave them a second chance, and boy, I'm glad I did. Because this band just has this X factor in songwriting, skills, and performance, and they gave one of the best crowd interactions that I saw all year. But we're back to the top 3 bands, and we're starting with a band that I didn't even know existed when the year started. This band was a total surprise. I had no idea who they are, and when I first saw the name, I actually thought that they were a cover band playing Sepultura songs. But it turned out that Schizophrenia are a thrashy death metal band from Belgium, and they rock. So let's go back and see what I thought about them back in the summer. Schizophrenia reminded me of why I fell in love with extreme metal in the first place. The energy, the speed, the madness. And that drummer, guys, I really need to know, what does he eat for breakfast? I need to see them again before they blow up, because I want to enjoy this band in a place small enough to smell the sweat on the next person. So now, 6 months later, Schizophrenia are exactly where they belong, taking the 3rd spot. And I'm gonna see them again in the spring, and ironically, they're actually touring with the band that occupies the 2nd spot. I've had Hellripper on my radar for a few years. I've interviewed them, I have reacted to their concerts in a video, but what I saw this band do at Brutal Assault this summer was just from another galaxy. Let's check out what I had to say. I looked at the lineup of this festival and never thought that Hellripper would be the band that I thought would be the best. It's not that I don't like the band, I absolutely love them, I've seen them before, but this stuff was next level. The energy, the crowd control, it was just unreal. And shout out to the security guys to keeping up with all that chaos. And we all know it, guys, some festival slots are tougher than the others, and Hellripper got one of the worst. 1:50 in the morning on the 4th day of the festival if you count the warm-up. But that didn't slow down James McBain and his crew for a second. Because before they even played a note, James had ordered the crowd to start crowd surfing, and the crowd obeyed. And they basically kept that momentum to the very end with non-stop mosh pitting, walls of death and crowd surfers flying over the barricade. And the icing on the cake was when James himself served the crowd with his guitar in hand before cracking a beer open on his head. That was fucking decadence. So this show I will remember forever, and I made a promise to myself. The next time that I'm in a situation like this, I'm putting away my camera gear and I'm going crowd surfing. The best concert of 2025 was performed by a band that has been one of my favorite bands for almost 40 years. So after 40 years of love, it can be hard to maintain that spark. And to be honest, the last 3 times I had seen them before last summer, I was a little bit worried that the magic might be gone forever. But then, like when a husband brings home flowers to make everything good again, this band put out a tour promising something I just couldn't miss. So I went to see them not just once, but twice. This was Iron Maiden. The gig was in an open field and a modest crowd of 60,000 people showed up. I went to my seats early, not knowing what to expect, but hoping that it would be better than in 2023. It started with a blast. The sound was tight and it was really good for a 60,000 open air setup. I felt some new energy this time around. It was different from 2 years ago where it felt that the band was somehow disengaged and almost like they didn't want to be there. Clearly with Simon Dawson on the drums, there comes some spark that I haven't felt with Iron Maiden for a few years. I do get it that Nico has had some health problems, but what Simon brought to the table here feels like they're rewinding the clock some 15-20 years or so. The thing is with Bruce that he can still hit all the important notes at the age of 66. I would score this concert as a 10 out of 10. Both these concerts with Iron Maiden were goosebumps from start to finish, and I get goosebumps now when I talk about it. Iron Maiden reminded me why they are still one of the biggest metal bands on the planet. So what were the best shows that you saw this year? Drop that in the comment below, and stay tuned for my video about the worst shows this year, and I'm pretty sure I'll get roasted for that one. And up here is my video about the winners, good old Iron Maiden.